Hello, first graders. Welcome back for our third lesson this week. Let's go ahead and get started because we have lots to do today. Make sure you have all the materials that you will need today, your writing journal, your pencil, a word wall, and today we will be adding our crayons and colored pencils or markers. Don't take those out at the beginning of the lesson, friends. Just have those ready because we will use those at the end. What is it that we're working on today? Well, let's take a look at our goal. I can write a closing sentence, and as you know, the last few weeks we've also used the word conclusion, a conclusion sentence. I can edit and share my writing. So we're going to be doing two things today with our writing. Friends, let's go back and repeat what our goal is so that we know moving forward what is it that we're working on. I can write a closing sentence. I can edit and share my writing. Go ahead and tell someone right now, what is it that you are working on? Let's go ahead and review what we worked on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we wrote reasons to explain why we think or feel that our activity is good for kids. I'm going to go ahead and review those 4 reasons that I wrote down on Wednesday to explain why this activity is good for kids. Reason number 1, dance entertains kids, friends, and families. Reason number 2, it's fun for kids to practice and then perform a dance routine. Reason number 3, kids can jump, twirl, and skip around. Reason number 4, kids can dance to different kinds of music. These are the 4 reasons that I shared with my partner on Wednesday to explain why I think that this activity is good for kids. And you did the same. You wrote your reasons down and you shared with either a family member, your pet, or your stuffy to explain the reasons to your opinion. Today we are going to be adding a closing sentence to our writing, friends. And another name for closing sentence is conclusion. But let's remind ourselves what this is. A conclusion sentence lets the reader know that we have come to an end of our writing, and it also reminds the reader of your opinion. Now, I chose dance as the activity that I think makes kids feel good. Okay, and so the next examples that I'm going to show you of some closing sentences are related to my opinion, dance. And so one example that I could use to close my writing up is dancing is great. Another one is you will love dancing. Or put on a performance and you will feel great. The one that I'm going to choose today to add to my writing for my closing sentence, I will use dancing is great. I think that that's going to be a good closing sentence to remind the reader of my opinion. I have given you a couple of examples of how we can conclude our writing, how we can wrap up our writing, and I chose dancing is great. I think that that closing sentence reminds the reader about my opinion. And so in my writing here, underlined in blue, you can see that I have added my closing sentence. What I would like you to do next is to think about how you are going to conclude your writing. Think about the examples that I gave you. Think about what I have written down. What are you going to say to conclude your writing today in your closing sentence? So when you have an idea, give me a silent thumb. I see a couple of silent thumbs coming up. Let's see here. How are you going to conclude your writing today? What closing sentence are you going to use? Okay. See? All right, friends. When you have it, go ahead and whisper it out loud. Okay? Dancing is great. Dancing is great. Dancing is great. Dancing is great. All right, friends. Thank you for sharing your conclusion. You shared your conclusion sentence by whispering it out loud. Now it's your turn. Grab your writing journal and get ready to write your conclusion sentence. Go ahead and pause this video right now so that you are able to write your conclusion. Awesome, you completed your writing. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to edit our writing. And let's remind ourselves about what editing is. When we edit, we want to be careful about the headline, beltline, toe line, because that helps us form our letters on those 3 different lines. We also want to remember to use our finger space to separate the words in our writing. We want to be careful about capitals, okay? We don't want to use lowercase instead of uppercase when we are starting a sentence. Use your punctuations. Are you using a question mark, a period, an exclamation point? If you need help with your spelling, use your word wall or use your letters and sounds to build the word. And then after all of that, ask yourself, does my writing make sense? Now that we have reminded ourselves of what editing is, what we have to do is we have to go back and reread our writing to look for mistakes and ask ourselves if our writing makes sense. So when we reread, we read our writing again. So watch me do that with my writing. I'm going to go ahead and highlight words that I am reading, so please follow along. Dance makes kids feel good. Dance entertains kids, friends, and families. It's fun for kids to practice and then perform a dance routine. Kids can jump, twirl, and skip around. Kids can dance to different kinds of music. Dancing is great. Now I'm going to think about if I have any mistakes or if my writing makes sense. After rereading my writing, I have discovered that, you know what? I do have a mistake in my writing. So I'm going to go back in and fix that. Again, you can reread your story more than once, and that's okay because good writers go back and reread their story multiple times to figure out how they can make it even better. So I'm going to go ahead and read mine one more time. Dance makes kids feel good. Dance entertains kids, friends, and families. I think that's where I made a mistake. That families looks a little wrong. I think that YS is misspelled. I think I need something else. I think I need an IES instead of a YS. So what I'm going to do is just write IES right here in the corner so that I remember to go back and fix my mistake. It's fun for kids to practice and then perform a dance routine. Kids can jump, twirl, and skip around. Kids can dance to different kinds of music. Dancing is great. I think that was the only mistake that I found in my writing, and you know what? It makes sense. It makes sense because I'm using punctuation to read with expression. I have my capitals around here on beginning of the sentences of every, you can see here, I'm just going to go ahead and circle in blue where I have my capitals. So I think I should be okay. You have watched me edit my writing by rereading and going back and fixing those mistakes. Now it's your turn. So pause this video to reread and edit your writing. After editing our writing, we can go back and sketch an illustration that matches our words. And that's what I did. I went back and I sketched an illustration that I felt matched the words that I wrote today. And so we're going to add different parts that I want you to notice in my sketch. Okay? I said that we can add labels to our sketches, right? To let the reader know the different parts of our illustration. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight some of these labels that I have here. I have the stage label here. I have a label over here to show that that's a curtain, seats, okay. I'm identifying that this is a ballerina, this is the dance partner. I also use speech bubbles, okay, and I'm going to go show you where that I have that on my illustration. I have some audience members saying, yay, great job. I did not use thought bubbles because I did not have the dancers or the kids here think about something, but you can use that in your illustration. You're more than welcome to. And I also use different effects like I use this little swirl to show a twirling movement from the ballerina. I have little music notes to show that there's music playing in the background. So get creative, friends, with your illustration today. Pause this video right now to sketch your illustration and add any labels, speech bubbles, and thought bubbles. And here comes my favorite part. After sketching an illustration and adding labels, speech bubbles, and thought bubbles, go ahead and color your sketch. You can use crayons, markers, colored pencils, whatever you have at home to make it look beautiful. Go ahead and pause this video right now to color your illustration. All right, friends, let's take a second to remind ourselves about what we did in writing today. We did lots. Let's go back and think about that goal. The goal that we had today was to write down a conclusion sentence of how to wrap up our writing and remind the reader about our opinion. We took a second to do that with my writing, and you had a chance to pause this video to do it with your writing. We also went back and edited our writing. We became writing detectives so that we made sure we looked out for those mistakes and went back to fix those mistakes to make our writing even better. We sketched an illustration, we added labels, speech bubbles, thought bubbles, and we colored it as well. Now is the time to present this awesome piece of writing that you have created this week with your families, friends, pets, stuffies at home. So remember, when you are sharing your writing today, stand up straight and tall, okay? Believe in yourself, have that growth mindset, use your level 2 voice, and be proud of the work that you did, first graders, this week, because I am so proud of you. Remember to submit a picture of your writing to your teacher via text, email, or class message on Dojo. Friends, have a great weekend, and I hope to see you all next Monday.